Alright guys, so what we're doing today, I hope you can hear me well, is we're going to do version 2.0 of how to wrap your hands as a fighter, as a boxer, MMA fighter, you know, contact sports. And I think it'll be easier to do bird's eye view, POV, so it's easier to follow. Right, so what you're going to do first is you're going to, I like to unroll my wraps, okay? You can roll them up if you want, but it's easier to do it this way. And what you're going to do is you're going to put your thumb through the little area here, the little holder, little bit there, nice and firm. And what I like to do is I like to start by wrapping my knuckles first. So knuckles first, just one over the knuckle. And then I'm going to come down and I'm going to do my wrist. So already we've hit two bases already. So we've got the knuckle and the wrist, and I'm going to start making my way down the wrist. Alright, and the reason why I like to unroll my wraps is because I can keep control over how firm it is. It's just easier because if it's rolled, you have to keep your hand on the roll. It's easier to wrap someone else's hand when it's rolled, but when you're doing your own, you want to unravel it. Alright, so we're going to go down the wrist and we're going to go quite far. Some people stop here, but I like to wrap people's hands and my own hand halfway down my forearm because that makes it a lot more secure around the wrist. Remember, the whole purpose of wrapping the wrist is so it doesn't bend like this. And if it's short, it's going to be easier to bend. You don't have much support here. But the longer you bring it, the more support is here, so it keeps it nice and straight. Okay, so now I've done my wrist and sort of a little bit of my forearm. I'm going to start working my way back up again, and I'm going to go to the second and third point actually of my thumb. So look what I'm doing. I'm coming round my thumb and I'm coming up, literally like that. So can you see we've got 1, 2, 3 covered already, and I'm going to bring it round my wrist. Okay, so can you see it comes round the wrist, back down again, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to the first knuckle area. So look what I've done there. I'm bringing it this way. So from my thumb area, I'm going to go to these knuckles here. So the first one's going to be through the little knuckle area, or the gap between these two fingers. I'm going to go round my wrist to secure it, and then I'm going to go a second time to the middle knuckle there, so it's nice and firm, and keep making fist shapes just so it's not too tight. So if it's too tight, your fingers are going to start turning blue, and that's not good. So we're going to go around the wrist again, so nice and secure. But what I want to do now is we're going to go one up from the pinky side, the pinky finger, one this way, because if you do 3 from this side, this angle can be quite tricky to get that hold, okay, and it can easily fall off and be loose. So nice and firm, but not too tight. We're going to come up the hand, so your metacarpal bones are secured, and we're going to go through the last knuckle. So can you see? It's all secured there, and we're going to come round again. And remember, we don't want to be too tight, but firm enough that your wrist is in place. And now what we're going to do, we've kind of covered the whole hand and wrist, but we're going to go and make it nice and neat and secure everything. So we're going to come back up the hand, and now look, we're going to wrap the knuckles, so there's a little bit more round the knuckles. There's a bit more of a cushion here for the knuckles, and you can support that if you want by going round it a second time, but I'm going to start going down the hand again. So again, metacarpals are protected, the wrist is protected through down here with the forearm here, so this far down. And we're going to go round, and we're going to start working our way back down the wrist for a second reinforcement and become nice and neat. So look at what's left, it's just the Velcro at the end. And we can wrap this down. I like to wrap it down at the bottom. And look, when you make a fist, it's nice and secured. You've got everything wrapped nice and neat. Even my thumb is protected. So now look, nice and secure. And that's how you wrap your hands, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Any questions, just send me a little message or comment. Thanks, guys.